Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. I think most of y'all have picked up on the fact that I live near a small town, and that for most of my life, I have lived in or around small towns. Because of that, I know a whole lot about hypocrisy and secrets. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the Supreme Court, hypocrisy, and dirty little secrets. To start, I'm going to tell you a story that has been lightly edited to protect the innocent. Me and a friend of mine, who I've talked about on the channel before, he's the guy I said, he's the best capitalist I've ever met because he runs his business like a socialist. We're in a Piggly Wiggly, and we see this woman we know. A couple nights before, she had split from her fiancé in a very public fashion. It occurred at the local bar, and from what we were able to gather, she reminded him that he wasn't supposed to be there because he was supposed to stop going. And he told her that this is the way it was and she'd better get used to it. And she threw the ring at him. And that was the end of it. And it was very final. So we see her, and we're like, hey, how are you holding up? You know? And she's like, I'm a little messed up. I'm gonna take a couple days and I'm gonna go to Pensacola Beach. When she said that, I was pretty certain she was lying. But it's not my business. You don't want to tell me how you're feeling, where you're going, what you're doing? That's fine. I don't take offense to it. My friend is a good guy. He is a good guy. So upon hearing this, he's like, you know, my place down on 30A, it's going to be empty this week if you just want to go down there instead. And she goes, well, then I knew she was lying. So I turned to him and I'm like, you said Jason could stay there. He's going to be there this week. And he's like, did I? I don't remember that. He's like, he's been talking about it for 2 days. And he's like, well, you know, it's not like they don't know each other. It's big enough for the both of them. I was like, yeah, she just split from her fiance. And you want her to go down and shack up on the beach with Jason. That makes sense. He's like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea. And at this point, he is kind of figuring out that I'm really just telling him to be quiet. And everything would have been fine, but while we were talking, she was coming up with her next lie. And she's like, oh, I have to go to Pensacola anyway because I'm going to see a friend from high school. And I'm like, you are the worst liar in history, you know, because they went to high school together. So the next words out of his mouth were, oh, who you going to see? And I'm like, dude, are you writing a book? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, this is none of my business. I hope you feel better. You know, let me know if you need anything, all of that normal stuff. And we part ways. As soon as she's out of earshot, he's like, dude, what was that about? I'm like, I don't know, but it's obviously not our business. The reality is I did know because that was the third time I had heard that exact lie in my life. And it never made any sense. It never made any sense. If you're not familiar with the geography, due south of where we are, much, much closer, is Grayton, all of 30A, Destin. If you're not familiar with these places, just type in most beautiful beaches in the world. They'll be on the list. To go to Pensacola Beach from where we are, you have to drive past this. You know, these areas, they have the prettiest beaches. They have the best restaurants. They have the best, well, pretty much everything if you're looking to unwind for a couple of days. You know what they don't have? A clinic. They don't have a clinic. Now, over the years, I have also heard about concerts. People going to Pensacola for a concert that didn't exist. Found that out because I wanted tickets. and then found out it wasn't happening. So they lie. They treat it like a dirty little secret. And I have never taken offense to this because they kind of have to. You can't hold it against them. These are small towns. They are very Republican, very rural, and everything that entails. You tell one person, you might as well just tell everybody. So they go over there, they have their appointment, they come back, and they never talk about it again. Because if they do, man, about the only thing more socially unacceptable than going, for a lot of them, is not going. And they're in that situation. So they make that choice. And they never really know who would be okay with the choice that they made. So they just lie about it. It's happened a lot over the course of my life. And those are just the ones I picked up on. And it doesn't seem like it would happen that often in the areas where I've lived, predominantly evangelical Protestants, right? Because they're one of the loudest voices when it comes to wanting to close these facilities. And that's true, and especially if you look at polling. The thing is, evangelical Protestants make up more than 10% of those visits to those facilities, 13%. And then the other large group is Catholics, very vocal. They make up more than 20%. When you add it together, it comes in close, almost 40%, sometimes over 40, depending on the year. So, because of social pressures, they have their appointment, they never talk about it, and they treat it like that dirty little secret that nobody's ever going to know about or discuss. And you can't blame them. They come back, they go back to their church, they espouse all of the same beliefs. If you asked them about it, they would hold the same opinion before and after their visit. And you can say it's hypocritical, and sure, it is. But I find it really hard to condemn them for it. I think that the Republicans have made a grave error. They have gone off of trying to grant a small group of people what they say they want rather than what they really do. The percentages don't actually match this move. I have a feeling that a whole lot of these women understand that their life is dramatically different because that option was available to them. Because had they not made it, their life would be drastically different. And not everybody gets the daughter who ends up in an Ivy League school while they own a hotel. That's TV. In real life, not everybody gets the happy ending. I have a feeling that a whole lot of these women are about to have another thing that they view as a dirty little secret. They're going to go somewhere, they're going to do something, and they're never going to tell us all about it. This time it won't be in a clinic. This time it'll be in a voting booth. Because I have a feeling that a whole lot of these women are going to want to preserve that option for their daughters. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.